We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Board of Directors of Kinney County Appraisal District. Time is 5 p.m. It's Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, and we have an agenda that's been duly posted according to law. And we do have a full quorum present. All members are present this evening. And so we'll call the meeting to order and move to item number 2, which is approval of the January 13th, 2026 public meeting minutes.
Second time. Chairman, I move that we approve the January 13th, 2026 meeting.
All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes. We have a second. We have a second by Jesse. Any discussion on the motion to approve the minutes? There be none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Item number 4 is a presentation of the 2026-2027 proposed budgets.
No. Number 3.
Number 3, the presentation of the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Presentation of the annual audit report. Derek Walker, Coleman, and Horton. Excuse me.
Is he gonna come on the phone? No. Are we gonna get the thing on FaceTime?
No.
Oh. We're gonna have to put a big screen in there. Oh, we got one. We'll connect it up here and let's see what we got. Can't do
Hey,
it.
Derek, how are you? Doing good. Our board is here, and you're the next item on the agenda, so the floor is yours.
Over a couple things in the audit report. You don't have your hard copies with you?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if y'all just kind of think through the form.
You say 4?
2 and 4 is the only thing in the audit report that is ours. Ours is a firm, ours is auditors. It's our opinion letter. And briefly state that we are the district's financial statement for the year ending September 30th, 2025. It goes on to state that the financial statements are the responsibility of the district administration, and our responsibility to provide an opinion on these. You get down to that first paragraph, it has our opinion. It states that we believe that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. The operations of the district as of September 30th, 2025. This is also known as an unqualified or a clean or an unmodified opinion. So it's the highest level of assurance and auditor can get off 7 financial statements. So if you'll flip over to page 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is an overview of the financial statements that are in here. The first set are they're considered government-wide financial statements, and they're on page 9 and 10. We'll go over those in just a sec, but the difference between these and what y'all use the budget on a month-to-month basis is that they set up a liability if you have long-term debt, or if you go out and purchase a fixed asset, it sets those up as assets, where on the fund financial statements, it's revenue or expenses. So it gives you a long-term budget. So with that being in mind, so just like you have. So if you flip your page,
Well, look, that was pretty good.
for instance, the long-term focus of the district.
Ten.
Capital assets in there. Total assets for the district tonight for $329,000. Total liabilities of the district tonight $653,000. A big debt in there is your net pension liability. So auditing standards or accounting standards require you to set up a obligation for current, for the liability of the employees. Retirement is what it amounts to. That amounts to $119,170. And so you like to look at your that position, unbalanced, there's a lot of different terminology for it, but if you hold your assets right and you pay off your debt, this is what the district would be worth, or this would be the net money in pocket. So the district total net position at the end of the year was $5,522. So looking at the statements that don't probably use the budget on, they're more of a cash flow statement. Let's go over to page 13. I don't know if anyone's new there, but you need to appraisal districts is because you don't have a fund balance. At the end of the day, at the end of operations, whatever money, whatever funds that are left are due back to the tax. And so the district will never really have a fund balance. But this schedule on page 13, it outlines the revenue, what kind of revenue you'll have, the investment earnings, other revenues, intergovernmental revenue, which represents the amount that y'all collect from, the school district, the county, the city, etc., is the amount of $512,000 last year. The district had some investment earnings, some interest, unlocked some interest on accounts, 347, and then had some other revenues, like the tax certificates and some other miscellaneous revenue items. Looking at your expenditures, that general government is just everything we take to run the district, right? It total expenses of $476,000. They made debt payments, which include principal on some long-term debt, which was released, the copier leases, and also interest on that debt. And then in addition to that, fixed assets or assets that were purchased during the year amounted to $36,530. Any questions on that?
I think we're good.
Last schedule is just your budgetary comparison schedule. This is on page 30. See how you kind of match up the budget. And it's hard with the federal district to get your budget out there and all the taxes, taxing it, 6 months, before even the start of the year. So projecting costs, it's kind of hard to do that. Inflation and all that. So that first column is your original budget. That's what it has before the start of the year. Then the district also has the option to go back and amend that budget. But in y'all's case, the original and the amended or final budget in that second column are the same because there were no budget amendments during the year. The third column represents your actual amounts. This is the actual money received, actual money paid, and then finally that fourth column is the difference between your actual and your final of much amended budget. Looking at your total revenues, you can see where they came in 33,686 less than what was anticipated. But also too, your expenses came in the exact same amount less than what was anticipated. There were no instances of non-compliance or anything that we were required to report. Like I said, it was a clean or a modified opinion. And so congratulations to the district in that regard. If y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time. I can get you out of my.
Careful. Before you take care of Jared. Any questions from anyone? All I see is heads shaking no, so.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your money. If y'all have any questions, hindsight, anything like that, we're more than happy to answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully it's working for me.
You too. Thanks, Derek. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
There being no other questions or comment on the audit report, item 4, which is the presentation of 2026, 2027 proposed budgets. And that will basically give our approval to forward this electric budget to the enacted.
Correct. So, in January, we talked about this. The first budget that you have is the proposed budget. And we made, after Derek was here, there was some information that we were made aware of. Over the years, we have been trying to get enough money in our contingency fund to be able to function in case it's necessary for whatever reason for a quarter. And we have accomplished that at this point. And so at this point, the original budget, we amended it to distribute back to the taxing entities what reserve we took in 2021, which would be $18,000 and change. And so that would change the overall. We would keep our current budget the same, what we would request from the taxing entities, and return that $18,000 that was from our first year attempting to set up this contingency to have on hand. Every year we've been adding to it. So if we can handle it this way, the first in, first out of money, then next year, if budgetary goes similar to this year, we will be able to give back to the entities the second year. And in other words, it would be a rolling fund that would keep us in a financial state that we could cover things if need be, and we wouldn't have to modify our budget. So that's the first budget. The second budget would eliminate the returning of the money. We would just keep what we have, this alternate proposed budget, and that would change what would be required of each of the entities to pay us this year. Personally, I would like to keep the budget that we'd already worked on, that we presented to you in January, and return funds to the taxing entities of our first year of setting up that. So it would be a little over 18. What's the dollar amount?
$18,015.30.
Which would be divided up in their percentages to each of the taxing entities. That way, the budget that we gave you in January would stay the same. We wouldn't change it. We would just return funds to the taxing entity.
In year two or this year?
This year, we would return the
You would
18.
return?
Next year, depending on how our budget works out, it would most likely be an increase of what money we could return. Because the second year, we actually reserved more for the contingency fund. The thing is, our contingency fund is at a balance right now that we feel comfortable returning money out of it to the taxing entities because the way that we've been able to build up to. So. But it's at your
That is
pleasure.
budget number one or number two?
That is budget number one. The original proposed budget would stay the same, and we would then return money to the taxing entities.
From a simplicity standpoint, that is probably the
Yes.
easiest way to do it.
Yes, that's what we would prefer.
This
We ended, go ahead.
is the current budget, 618,000 for this coming year?
Yes.
This is just a curious question, 'cause I'm not clear on this. If you were to keep the 18,000 and reduce the budget to 600,000, would you already have the 18,000 in your pocket?
It would just reduce the amount of money we're asking for this
Yeah.
current budget.
Would reduce it to 600,000, more or less.
It would bring it down to 598,793. So that's in the second alternate proposed budget.
Any other question or?
And I might say, the reason there might be a difference in the mathematics there is because we put money in this current budget for contingency, which is greater than the amount that we would be returning.
Yeah.
Because we're returning the first in. So first in, first out. And as the years go along, as that money would fluctuate, then we would be able to return different amounts every year.
Well, the thing that we all hear, and we all sure favor is that we intend to return.
Right.
Funds. And from where I sit, the simplest and easiest way to do it would be based on the number one, simply because you've told me that's the easiest way to do it.
Right.
Not because I understand how to do it. Don't
Right.
misunderstand. me.
Right.
It's just that that's what you're saying.
Yes.
And I see nothing wrong with either of the two would work. But I tend to lean personally to number one because that's the one you're recommending to us. That's all I got to say about that.
Yes, sir.
When will the checks go out?
Soon. We will, the checks would go out September, or would we send them out now?
I sent them out with the next distribution,
Right.
which would be the 1st of April.
Yeah. A couple weeks.
I put that forward motion for you. For number one, proposal number one. I move that we adopt proposal number one as presented to us by our chief clerk.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Marla. Any discussion on the motion to approve budget number one? If there be none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Welcome everyone to our meeting. At this point, I'm under item number 5, accept any public comment. We welcome those who are with us this evening.
I have two things I want to address. The first thing is, as most of you know, I'm on the ARB board, and there's 4 of us on the board. And I hope it's appropriate for me to bring this up. But, during, tax season, we have many appointments from the, taxpayers who are protesting their taxes. And this last year, in fact, every year, people make appointments and they never show up. Now, Gene or whoever prepares the paperwork prepares 4 sets of paperwork. Each committee member goes over that paperwork thoroughly before the taxpayer comes in. We try to prepare ourselves for the taxpayer. And they never show up. They don't call. We just sit there and wait. Now, if I make an appointment with my doctor or my dentist and I don't show up, many times they charge me for that appointment. And this is just an old lady's opinion, that I think it's very rude to make an appointment with a business office and not let them know you're not coming. Now, we all have emergencies come up, but we all have a phone attached to our hip. You can call and let somebody know that you're not coming, because there's a lot of paperwork that is prepared. We come in and I enjoy the company of everybody here, but it's just rude not to let the appraisal district know. Okay, the second thing is,
Can I?
of
ask a
course,
question? What do you suggest from where you sit standpoint? Can we consider doing that would alleviate the rudeness that you see in people that we serve? Do you have any suggestions for us?
no, I don't. I don't know what you can do about
Rudeness.
rudeness. I just don't.
Well, doctors give you they give you a chance to confirm.
Right.
Yes or no.
Right.
Let you know 2 or 3 days usually ahead of your appointment.
And that
Ask you
could
to
be a
confirm.
solution, maybe.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
do
know.
that. They do that. Now, whether that would alleviate all or any,
Mhm.
who knows? And maybe that's something that not we need to consider, but you need to consider. That you're the person that is going to sit there and wait for them to get there. And I can make it.
And I enjoy sitting here and visiting, but it's just, and it isn't just us, it's the paperwork that the
Oh, yeah,
office
sure
has
is.
to go through.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
right for a person to not honor their commitment, period.
Right,
Regardless of whether it's to you or to a doctor or to whomever. It's just nature of a person to do things correctly if you require them to do that somehow.
right.
And now
Well,
you're
we
not likely
probably
to get,
need to think about it.
you're not likely to get any money back
Oh, no.
or any time back. And probably not any reply if they're that kind. But maybe we need to do a little more to let them know that it takes our time, your
Right.
time, our time, staff's time, just to allocate that time to them. And of course, we have no way to make them pay
No.
like a doctor can.
But you did, what is the
Maybe
percentage
next
of
time you
people
don't
not
give them a chance is all.
Sir?
What's the percentage of people not coming?
Probably 80 to 90%.
Yep.
Yeah,
What was
only,
that question?
only 2 showed up.
He asked about what's the percentage of the people that don't show?
That don't show.
This past season, we had probably 90 protests filed, and the ARB got to hear basically 2 of them.
That's horrible.
It is. And the only place it can be dealt with is the legislature. That is yes, we spend a lot of time and money doing prep work for a lot of nothing during protest season.
I think part of your solution, Mr. Sini mentioned, would be make an attempt to call 24 hours before, 48 hours to confirm.
We fulfill all legal requirements.
So you're not gonna do it?
No, The problem is if we do it for one individual, we have to do it for everyone. And you're talking about agents. At some point, the person that's protesting has to own the protest. Just like, well,
What, my thinking is when it comes to people's money, it's a very personal thing. So they receive their tax bill, they get emotions get inflated.
Sure.
So then they either come down here or they call and say, I want to protest my blah, 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 whatever it is. And that's probably at the moment. That's what I'm assuming. Um, I think most people
But they go through the motions of filling out paperwork.
to come in here and fill it out, yeah.
They, they will write what their protest is.
Yeah.
So they, they
They're
have
probably
it
got
on
an
their
emotional
mind.
state, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And then after 3 or 4 days, they come down, they say, well, maybe it's not working.
But then they should call them.
They should.
I'm
so
sorry.
this,
But manners is, everyone should have manners. And unfortunately, when it comes to the public, many people are minus a lot of manners.
Well, and I have another thing I wanted to bring up. If I don't know how much time I have, but several times Mr. Guzman has brought up the choosing of the ARB board. And the last time he did, I went home and got on the internet and researched the law. And it seems like maybe, if I understand you right, you seem to think that it should have been advertised in the paper, maybe? I don't know. But that was my impression. Anyway, the law in Texas, we are not elected. We are not county employees. And so it is not required to put it out in an ad for an ARB member. And I will kind of go over how I got on the board. And maybe what we do. I don't know. But I used to deliver newspapers with Dan Metcalf every week. And several times I was asked to be on the ARB board. Frankly, I didn't know what it was. So I did some research, and the reason they were asking is because they couldn't find anybody to be on the board. No one wants to be on the ARB board. You're not a popular person. And so finally, I said, I can do that. So then we have a lot of training. We have training every year. And we come to a meeting, we go over the paperwork of each individual that is protesting thoroughly. And but I think it's very hard. I don't think everybody needs to be on the ARB board because it's a very personal thing. You have to be confidential. You have to weigh both sides, the appraisal district and the taxpayer. You cannot be partial to either one, and we are not. And I think that there are people that would want to be on the ARB board that have an agenda. And we have 4 people on the committee, and there isn't one of us, this is my belief, that has it in for anyone or anything. We just look over the paperwork and make a decision. I will say that if a taxpayer has a legitimate grief, 9 times out of 10, the appraisal board has already made that decision that we're thinking should be adjusted somehow. So I however you choose, not everybody needs to be on the ARB board. I'm sorry, but they don't. If you have an agenda and you want to pick on a taxpayer, you don't need to be here. So I just kind of wanted to go over that because that's how I was chosen. And I'm sure that everyone else, that's the same way they were. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Wanda.
It takes so long.
Thank you for serving, and all of you who serve on the ARB. Appreciate you very much, and it is a thankless job.
It is the thing.
And what it's made it more difficult through the years, is the, requirement to meet, market value. And a lot of folks I know, have a hard time grasping that, I'm being taxed on 100% value. But that's what the law requires, and in the absence of that, the potential for loss for the school district is there. And so, it's one of those situations, heck if you do and heck if you don't. But, thank you for serving. And it always has been difficult to find those that were willing to take that particular position because of the, turmoil. And as you mentioned, people's personal, feelings and opinions enter into it. Anything else on the subject?
Is there a policy on how that board is picked? Or is,
Yes,
there is?
there is. Yep. And it's followed. Yeah, everything we do is very well regulated.
I didn't mean to send you, insinuate? Whatever. I've been having an old lady's moment, but I didn't mean,
No, all I was doing for those
Yeah.
that are out there to make sure that they know
Yeah.
that the CAD is following
I
policy
understand,
to.
and I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah.
Any other comment from the public? Okay, well, thank you very much. And, we'll proceed to item number 6, which is presentation discussion of the 2025 property value study results.
It's more of just a discussion. So we had a property value study again for the 2025 appraisal season. We were given local value in 23 and also in 24. We were given local value. I will state that the 23 value was after a protest, but the final of the property value study for 2023 was local value. Since we got local value in 23, then 24, there was no property value study done. We got back to a regular schedule of 25. So late in 25, we got notified that the state appraiser would be out. He was presented to us by one of the supervisors because of some issues we had in the past. And so the gentleman came and did his work in February here locally. And so we, at the end of last month, we got the preliminary results, which again, they did not give us the local value. What that created was, again, the school is protesting that process because it's the school's funding that depends upon the local value, whether it's accepted or not. And so we've been working with the law firm of Linebarger, Golden, Sampson, and Blair, and their field workers to do the required work that they do. We've just helped on filing reports and taking one of their gentlemen out to look at some of the properties, try to get some of the value back. And so there's 2 areas basically where we're having an issue. The biggest single culprit in this, one of the pipelines protested. And that's what created a large, because it's a very large financial sum, it carried more weight than the others. Out of the 14 or 15 industrials that we have. It was the only one that didn't pass. But it's not just here that they protested, it's their whole pipeline that they protested throughout. So that's all being dealt with by T.Y. Pickett at state level. And I don't know where that one's going to go. The other issue where we're having some problems, it's been a constant issue. And I'm going to call another Ag Advisory Board meeting to deal with it. It's on ag value. And so I requested some data from the state and realized what's going on with some of our neighboring counties, how they are filing, which has kind of given me a guideline by which we can go about filing. So that's what we're going to deal with our Ag Advisory Board. But those are basically the two areas which have created the issue mainly of the not passing. And so the issue is, yes, we failed. It's being protested. I don't make the rules. We just got to play by them. And yes, the schools have to put out money for that. And I'm sure you all got the letter, or I know Tim got the letter. I'm sure Jesse and Mr. Guzman and Marla, did you get one? And Mr. Herb, did you get a letter from the school?
I don't remember it. but yeah,
Okay.
The school didn't send it to us individually. They sent it to you.
Well, they sent it to Tim and to Marla.
Okay.
So,
CC.
but anyway, just to point out a couple of issues is that we did get local value in 23 and 24. And so just that as a clarification for the board here. And the other main question is what's called a TARP, which originally was called the Targeted Map Review. And we've not gotten the final statement from the state. It will be out in the month of April. But all the work has been done on our end. It has been turned in to the gentleman that did the targeted map review. And he has received all corrections. Gene has been very diligent at getting all that to him. And he, on his opinion, we're good. It's just this, he has to turn over all his work to the comptroller, and the comptroller will release in April the final determination on that, what is called now TARP. So at this time, we don't have a final official statement on it, and that's what the school is requesting. And so I just thought I would mention that. Again, the way the laws or the system works, if we fail a property value study, the school has to either protest itself or authorize someone else to protest it. And I don't know all the details on their side. I know it's an issue for the school. I think it causes budgetary problems.
For Miller was, we had to draw about 180,000
Right.
out of our fund balance. The numbers we saw, it's on the utility side.
Right.
We had the biggest
Yeah, because it's
discrepancy, I guess,
Yeah.
between years. However, I don't know who does the appraisals on utilities, but that's where.
it's T.Y. Pickett, and
where
like I
the
said,
biggest-
yeah, it, and to me, this is just me
Right.
talking. To me, the way the state handles that or handled that particular one is unlike the others because it's weighted because of value. The one that is off, and I think it came in like at 88%, which we got to be within 95 or 105. And so, but it was a big dollar value.
Oh, it was big.
And that's why it was weighted so heavy in the property value. Generally, they take the different categories and get a mean average, and that's what. But this one, because of the value, it's weighted more for that side. So if it was taken in a standard deviation or measurement of deviation of median, it wouldn't carry so much. But when they take it on a dollar value, because its value is so high, that's why it carried so much and affected the property values then. So the issue is, it is being protested again by Linebarger, contacted by the school, assisted by us, and the final determination is still not given. We still have the possibility of getting local value, which the way I look at it, when they don't give us local value in the preliminary and it's protested, they give us local value. Ultimately, we were right. The state's the one that's considering things wrong. And so, yeah, there's issues there, and Jesse's assessment from the board meeting at the school is correct. Our only other remedy is severely increasing values locally, which increasing values means the increase in taxes. And so,
That's the double edge.
yes, it
I
is.
said, I mean, you don't want to hurt. Increasing it hurts the people,
It does.
you know, so I understand what y'all are, that's why I guess watching that, I said, it's a tough spot. And you know, you want to increase kids, I mean, the school's different, it does take the hit.
Yes.
So we have to do the protests because, like I said, this last one with the thing that we saw, it was on the utility side, and we had to draw out of our fund balance about 183,000 to make up the difference. And so, but at the same time, we don't want the community being hurt by it. So I get it.
And your assessment was correct. Appreciate that. And it just, my whole thing is, if our state legislators would do what they say they're wanting to do, we would get away from all this. We would. The legislators say they want to fully fund the school and take it out of local. Well, then just do it.
Yeah.
Quit talking about it. Quit increasing
Well, and
exemption.
that's what people don't, you know, this last legislature, they promised the school the allotment for a student was gonna be $10,000.
Yeah.
It's been like 63 something for 15 years. They raised it by $50.
Yeah.
They didn't go, so that causes the whole, you know, doesn't matter who you have running, they're all gonna
Right.
face that kind of
Right.
shortfalls. That's why you see schools being closed throughout the state. You know, they're not doing what they said they were gonna do right at the state level.
And so, and we're not alone in this.
Right.
A couple of years ago, the failure rate of PBS, which they only do half of the school districts every year, but a couple of years ago it was 20% were failing. And it's come down a little bit, but that high of failure rate tells you something. So, not trying to make excuses of the sort. It just, Jesse's correct. It's a fine line. So, ultimately, the more local value there is, the less the state has to send to the school. And they want to make sure they send as little as possible. and we're the ones that get the finger pointed there.
Yeah.
That, if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them about that. That's really all it was, is a discussion point. And so, and I have not answered that letter because I don't have a final from the state on the TARP review. It has been presented to the comptroller, and we're all waiting for that result. So.
Question or comment? So will that conclude our item number 6, 2025 property value study result?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 7 is our county activity.
So you have my sheet there, budget recap, and you got that on your sheet here. We're about 41% total expense. You can run through that as you please. Our collections this year's been kind of interesting on collection. Of course, every year is a little different. But collections for the tax year 2025, I was at March 17th today. The general overall percentage is 89.9%. 33, which is about 1% less than the same time last year for the overall. But the school is at 93.39%. And what we generally consider is a really good job is 95%. There's one outstanding payee that has not paid, and if they pay, it would get us over the 95% with the school. And so that is a solar farm that has not paid. So
Did I get their bill wrong?
the law states, once the bill is deposited at the post office, it's considered as delivered. So it was deposited at the post office October 1 when everyone else's was deposited. So they know they have a bill. So our appraisal period is progress. Steve put a lot of work in doing field work this year. And you see there, Brackettville is complete, and the fourth is somewhere around 99% done. He's been pulling some late nighters. His deadline is Friday night. And so on Monday, we have to send all of our data to our publisher to print appraisal notices to go out by April 1. Our flight was done February 19th. We flew. I didn't fly. Steve again got the run of that because I get airsick anymore. So
You took a ride,
you spent what, 7 hours?
6.5. You took a little ride.
Yeah, I did take a ride with them this year because they brought the 4-seater, which was pretty nice to get back up there for a little while. But flew the Highway 90 south, the whole side of the county. Our on-site map review just took place this last week. The map review is methods and procedures review. At this time, we have 12 remaining. Is it 12 or 11?
9.
9, sorry. 9 remaining outstanding issues that we need to take care of. One of them I've already talked to our attorney about. It's probably going to cost us some money to get taken care of because electronic filing. Legislators made it acceptable for all notices and everything to be sent and received electronically. And at this moment in time, we're just not set up from I've got to talk to one of our providers to be able to get a new email address and somehow to manage it so we can handle electronic communications. So there were several that we don't have enough going on right now to fulfill all the requirements, but we have a year to get those all remedied. And so we will be working on those throughout the year. Again, we plan to mail our first batch of notices, appraisal notices, April 1. The letter for inviting you all to the training. I gave you the time. If you could confirm for me by tomorrow, so I can let the organizers know how many might be wanting to go. It's at Uvalde State Bank from 10 to noon on the 7th of April. Any and all are welcome. So the attorney, a law firm, giving that presentation, and so they would be good people to ask questions beyond my ability to answer them. But that's pretty much my report for today.
What kind of cost is involved in this training?
None.
Let me ask it a different way. What kind of cost is there involved in providing training to everybody?
That is
Who's
being.
making the thing?
I'm not sure who's. I think it's CAD itself, Texas Association of Appraisal Districts, that is offering that through our chapter. But it isn't costing us as the appraisal district anything. Just a matter of getting.
And how do they generate income?
They're
We're
CAD we pay memberships for. we as the appraisal district, TAD is everyone now, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. Used to TAD was an individual membership. Now the office is a member, and there's like a $400 fee per year for membership. And so,
Is that in our budget?
yes, that's part of training because TAD is one of the organizers that provides training for appraisal districts.
Okay, last question.
Yes, sir.
Attorney. That's what I see as people doers. This is the person who's providing the training.
Yes.
Taking, asking us board members to take our time today. We take a day of our time.
If you're wanting to go.
What I would like to know, about the is it worth our time to go to that training when we have people that give us laws and the complexity of things in all probability that we need to know about as far as they're concerned? Or is it gonna be, am I gonna get my time, my money's worth, and I'm not costing me anything? Is it
Yeah.
Costing me. my time? Is it worth it?
I haven't been to one in a long
I'm sorry,
time.
what, huh?
The
Been
evaluation.
8 or 9 years since I went to one. It was a much longer one than I went to.
Well, here somewhere, I printed a bunch of extra ones.
Me as an appraiser, it was. I don't see the board.
Now, when did I do it?
So I can honestly answer that. I think for which
Don't
Jesse,
do just for fun.
yeah, I think maybe
Here
for
it
just Lutman,
Here's a bunch.
because they're newer at this, it might be beneficial. I don't know. But each of you, maybe Marla, we're still at the school time, like we do. But you would have to make that decision on your own, Judge. I can't make that decision for you, but
Well, if they got good coffee and good donuts, it'll be.
there's a meal provided, I believe, so.
So,
It's not rubber chicken, is it?
no, it's hard beef.
Just see, sometimes of our regional meetings, what they do feed us, so. Once in a while, we'll end up at the restaurant, we have to pay for ourselves, but that's, anyway,
I'm done.
okay.
Anything else on the activity report?
Uh,
Item number 8, which is discussion approval of the agricultural committee and its recommendations.
We had a meeting with the Ag Board recently, January 27th. And it was advised by our Ag Board members, which Tim, you were there present, to move the acreage or animal unit per acreage requirement up from 100 acres to 150 at this time of drought. And then if you get back into regular season, then we can go back to 100 acres per animal unit. Yes, I'm not a rancher or a farmer, but I'm smart enough to know that as dry as things are right now.
Yep.
It's hard to keep animals out there. So all this is that you all are made aware of this and need to approve it if it's of your liking. But as you can see, Mr. Zach Davis, Margie Damon, Tim Ward, and Randy Schott are the ones that are on the board. So,
In a nutshell, does that mean they'll be paying less?
no, it has nothing to do with pain. It has to do with the number of animals that they can sustain on their land. It is our charge to make sure that landowners are doing what is required by the state to maintain their ag exemption. And one of the things is the animal intensity. What is typical of Kinney County are cows, goats, and sheep. And so one animal unit is considered a cow calf combo, or equivalent would be 7 goats or 7 sheep would be considered an animal unit. And so to sustain an animal unit on the land right now, it takes 100 acres to sustain one, well, actually 150 acres to sustain one animal unit. So basically it's reducing the number of animals required for them to continue to get their ag appraisal. So it's making it easier for the landowner.
And they're making a recommendation to us,
Yes.
or they're saying they're gonna do it.
No, they have affirmed it, and then we're just needing the board's authorization to
Are
ratify.
you able to vote? Are you able to vote? Yeah,
Everybody shared an opinion.
are you able to vote on this?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, can I ask, if they have 10 goats on 10 acres, then they don't get a ag exemption?
They can.
They can have as many as they want to.
They can have as many as they want to. The upper level is not required. It's
Okay,
It-
I see.
it's the minimum. On small acreages, the number changes because on a small acreage, you're not going to sustain any animals on a small acreage. You're going to have to tend to them regardless of what the weather's like. So
Right.
that's a different requirement. But this is on large acreage. So
I'm still not clear on it. So I understand ag exemption. Ag exemption is the discount, correct? Okay. So you're asking if the group is requesting a larger exemption?
no,
Yeah,
there's
I-
no money value
It'd
here.
be, requirements for maintaining the animal units.
It's just it's reducing the burden on the land during time of drought because the land cannot sustain the same number of animals to fulfill the requirement. If we lived in East Texas and had 67 inches of rain a year, we could probably have an area where they had 4 or 5 animal units per acre because that acre can sustain that many animals during the year. Here, it's been advised that we move from 100 acres to 150 for an animal unit to be able to be sustained on the land without, even then, they still have to provide supplement.
Would an appropriate term be eligibility for? In other words, the eligibility has been raised.
The requirement has been eased. That would be the easiest way
To get the exemption.
and to maintain.
And we hope and pray the weather changes and the next 5 years are wet years,
See,
range conditions improve.
for anyone to get, if there's a property out there in Kinney County, which are very few, that don't have ag, it's a 5-year process to go through to get the ag exemption.
Qualify.
Originally. This is for people that already have the exemption, which is just easing their burden, which is actually being more responsible for the land. We don't want to overburden land, and that is left at local discretion. And that's what our ag advisory board has recommended. So it's not changing any value of anyone. They've already got that exemption or appraised value. It's just easing the requirements of the number of animals they need to have on the land. So, which, if you would go talk to any landowner, they've been selling their animals off for the last 5 or 6 years. They're get grain a little while, some are bringing some animals back, they're getting dry, there they go, back to market. The ones the farmers that actually run animal for a living, they're having to dump a lot of money into keeping their animals on the land, regardless of what requirements are there. So I know one landowner who has a significant amount, he's dumping $30,000 a month into just maintaining his herds. So
Any other question or comment on the agriculture committee's intensity recommendations? Entertain a motion.
Once again, and I would move that we accept and authorize, what's the right word? Approve the agricultural committee, in terms of recommendation of 150.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion to approve the recommendation by the
For reducing animals.
Making it easier on the land, is what we're trying to say, and I don't really have any livestock because it's not enough forage there. It takes 150 acres now, instead of 100 acres, like we have. And it's, I could go on for probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
About what I've just heard said that we are doing or authorizing to be doing. First of all, when you don't have rain for a very long time, the best thing you can do for the land is to get rid of all the livestock you have. Sell them. Okay, put the money in the bank. Don't spend $30,000 trying to feed them. It's harder for the land, but it keeps you in the business. Okay. So I could go on and on about that, and the sensitivity of land being grazed at 150 acres per livestock could be entirely too much.
Yeah.
You could do more harm than good by having any livestock there. Or too many, certainly. 150 reduces the stocking rate, okay, from 100 to 150. So that helps the land some, but we can't help that sitting around the table. All we can do is authorize a procedure that will work for most of the people.
Right.
Each individual has to make his own call on how he manages his land to try to achieve a productive situation for his operation. And I've kind of put it in a nutshell, what I have going on in my brain. I spent 30 years working for USDA Soil Conservation Service as a range management specialist, guys. So a lot of what we're hearing is elementary.
Right.
It's just a procedural thing we're going through. So that's why I'm in agreement with our agricultural committee's recommendations. Just for the sake of having a procedure.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's any other question or comment on the motion? Yeah. There be none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries without.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for serving that committee for all. Thank you. Not an evening.
No. Next item is item number 9, which is discussion approval of the chief appraiser's evaluation.
I would like to remove this so we can speak freely.
And with board's permission, we'll go into executive session to review this.
Okay, we'll just go with this and I'll have the tally sheet. And with respect to item number 1, delivery of the certified appraisal roll in a timely manner, majority said achieved. Item number 2, delivery of the appraisal notices and tax statement in a timely manner, the majority felt achieved. Item number 3, budget development and presentation, and again, the majority felt that you exceeded expectations on that one. With item number 4, The majority felt that you met the expectations and would like to have a list of the employees with their certifications for the board to have access to that. And that was the only one that there was concern on that. Item number 5, relations with member entities. The majority felt you met expectations with respect to that. Item number 6, which is relations with the general public. The majority felt like you exceeded expectations on that one as well. Item number 7, management of the appraisal review board process. And the majority felt like you exceeded expectations on that. Item number 8, strategic planning and vision. Again, the majority felt like you exceeded expectations on that as well. Item number 9, relations with board of directors. And the majority felt like you exceeded expectations on that one as well. And so that is the report on the evaluation. And so appreciate what you do and the good job and your staff. And
Think, most of the think goes to the staff.
well, it takes everybody.
That's right, everybody.
They all got
It's a
my back,
group.
so I appreciate
And
that.
the term more used often now as a team to work together. And so, did any of the directors want to voice anything? Okay. All right, so, the next item then, you want it to be an action item on that particular item? It's listed as, discussion / approval.
You have to sign the
I will.
last, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on it or anything, but,
Okay,
Everybody just sign, I think the back page,
yes.
either you or somebody has to sign.
Okay. We can do that. The, moving to item number 10, which is, discussion, approval of the quorum modified bill report. And,
it's, this sheet that you all need to sign, I think you've got the original. We had a minus of $223.93.
is this clear to everyone, what happened, why that's generated? Because I always ask, sometimes these,
Yeah,
but there are adjustments that are made.
adjustments of removals of exemption or addition of exemptions. Say someone passes away and they had a homestead, that gets removed, and that could cause a plus, or that's what it's all due to. Changes in what was originally sent due to modifications that are required by law. So sometimes it'll be big, sometimes it won't be any. So,
Was pretty cool, right?
yes, that's
Any
pretty normal.
question on the modified bill report?
Are you gonna just send one around to sign?
Yes,
We don't need to all sign
no,
all.
they're just one that everyone needs to sign.
Do I have a motion to approve the?
moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second. And, any discussion on the motion? There be none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Good, you're next right there. This one and that one, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just hand this one to you.
Oh, and the minutes, you have to sign the minutes. You got your, I think I have a tag on it.
Let's see. Got those somewhere here. There it is, there. And then Marla is secretary. We'll reach item number 11. What is your pleasure about adjourning the meeting? We're now at 10 minutes till 7.
I move that we adjourn.
Second. Okay, we have a motion made and seconded to adjourn. Time is now, by that clock, 10 minutes till 7. All in favor of adjourning, let it be known by an aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.